have you been in business?
Oh, gosh, we've been in business at Wave since 2018. We've been doing this type of work for over 15 years now. So, yeah, Hartke Presents, we started officially about, 10 years ago, 12 years ago?
So 2009. We met and very soon afterwards began doing shows together. So our relationship is always all facets of our relationship are intertwined. And some people are very curious how we make it work. But for us, it's perfect. It's this really beautiful balance of personal and work, and just everything is intertwined in our lives. And we love it.
So 2009, you began Hartke Presents. And what does that entail?
Well, in 2009, that entailed First Friday was a music crawl that we produced. Basically, what that was a way to get local original artists into different bars and venues and businesses all over town. At its height, we would have artists in 35 businesses around town. And what that was the first Friday of every month, we would program with original music, and it was both local and then touring artists, really small touring artists. And then that developed into the job at the Orpheum that I got. And then we started doing more shows, bigger touring artists. So it's really, we book, we promote, we consult, we do various things, as part of Hartke Presents. We're also founding member of Detour. It's a national conglomerate, a booking conglomerate that we just started and launched back in January. So that's another facet of Hartke Presents as well.
Yes, Detour officially launched on March 1st, 2022. We were very excited to be able to work with a number of our peers that we became very close with over the last 2 years. Prior to 2020, the entire live music industry, especially in the independent realm, had been very isolated. We're a bunch of hustlers in the best sense of the word.
Yes.
We were a bunch of scrappy individuals who didn't always have a lot of resources, but were very competent at utilizing the resources we had available to us to make, but we were all just going ahead, trying to get to the next show and then the next show and the next show. And once we hit March of 2020, we were all forced, like almost everyone in our society, to sit down and figure out what our next steps would be. We were one of the 20 earliest members of National Independent Venue Association, which launched in April of 2020, quickly grew to over 3,000 organizations. Wow. Adam was the co-chair and still is co-chair of the advocacy committee of that organization. And did truly amazing things with that. But after we got through that hellscape of 2020, we always had a saying within NEVA that first we will survive and then we will thrive. So out of that grew, out of the friendships we formed within that organization, something completely separate has formed. And Adam mentioned that it's Detour. And so it's a number of these people that, again, we had never met prior to 2020, but are now some of the people I find closest in my life. And we book shows across the country. We all have the same idea that we need to build community within our individual cities and bring art to our communities.
I love that. So is Detour really like a collective of booking?
Yeah, exactly. A cooperative or a collective. So we're all still independent entities.
Okay.
But we're working together. So historically, there's been a few larger corporations that have really dominated the live music industry. And that's left a number of us smaller independents sort of out of the conversation. And due to this, all of these friendships that I mentioned we had formed and these beautiful networks that had come out of such tragedy, we are now able to get in on some of those conversations that we'd been excluded from previously.